I know, mate. When the UK had those first. Come here! Oh, bloody hell, mate! Let go!
Hey, chill, mate.
So,
Dipping down.
what do you miss about the UK?
I thought you heard. Like the Spurs, yeah. In every single meal, especially jacket potatoes.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
I like that.
What else do you
No,
miss?
Jude Bellingham, the striker from Real Madrid, right?
Striker.
Many goals. I remember his signature goal against Barcelona, yeah.
Yeah, the long shot outside
Yeah.
the box.
El Clasico, they call it. Then big historic events like Abraham Lincoln visiting, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Shaking hands with
Do
Theodore
you wanna,
Roosevelt.
I don't care about that anymore. Do you want to know something interesting?
Bloody hell, tell me, mate.
Australia, they actually share the same king with United Kingdom.
What? Really? Now? They're stealing from us now, eh?
Yeah, two nations, same history, share kings. Despite knowing this, the way they work and implement their political ideologies are really different from one another.
Yeah, the English and their lads, like, they do not follow like a single political ideology, but
Hey.
rather they like to go to the many political fields, you know, influenced by different circumstances, by ruling parties and historical contexts.
Hey, Betsy says the more the merrier, eh? Continue, like.
It follows the ideologies of liberalism, conservatism, and social democracy. England reflects its history a lot following the constitutional monarchy, rules of law, and representative democracy. The current king, King Charles, serves as the head of state, while the government work is carried out by the parliament and the prime minister of the country.
So King Charles is basically an icon to the country.
Yeah, actually,
yeah. And on
King Charles the best, man. He's better than Jude Bellingham.
you're not even British. On the other hand, Australia follows a bunch of policies, you know, mixing liberal democracy, social democracy, and convertism. Does that sound familiar?
Like when the British converted the
No,
Aussies.
no. It's like they share the same ideologies as England, but because they technically also are a constitutional monarchy, because you know King Charles represents them, but
That's
that's historical
very cool.
context and stuff like that.
That's
But the way they manage things are different. You know, they're strong. They put a strong emphasis on practical application over ideologies.
The country has a two-party dominant system, but policies tend to be more centrist compared to England's more ideological shifts. And instead of having the usual rule of the Prime Minister being in charge, Australia represents itself with a Governor General.
That also furthers their differences. The political landscape between the two are shaped by different implementations of their ideologies and political parties. So England's party field is primarily dominated by two parties, which is the Conservative Party and the Labour Party. And the Conservative Party, being a centre-right, it focuses to support free markets, social value, prioritizing lower taxes, deregulation, and national security. And the Labour Party acts as a centre-left, follows social democratic approaches, promoting wealth distribution, public services, and working rights, showing a strong emphasis on protection within labour, along with prioritizing the people's welfare.
Other important parties, including Democrats and the Green Party, which both advocate political reformations and climate change.
Australia, on the other hand, despite the two nations following a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy, which I said earlier, it
Yeah, that's cool.
leans more towards a centrist and like sensible way. It tends to be more policy focused, with support from both dominant parties for aspects such as universal health care, wage distribution, and strong labor rights.
Though the countries both have two dominant parties, Australia has a great representation on opportunities for minor parties and independents, give it a more fair and diverse political environment. Unlike England, Australia lacks a strong sense of nationalism and class-based politics that influence England.
There are currently two parties for Australia, like two major parties. One of them being the Australian Labor Party, which I'm sure you heard of already, is the centre-left party that represents workers, trade unions, and social democratic policies. Then we have the Liberal Party of Australia, playing the centre-right party, which supports individualism, like free markets, freedom of like individual freedom, and conservative values. It often governs in union with the National Party of Australia, which represents rural and regional interests. But I'm sure you're also wondering, right? Like, how are like the two so similar despite being on two completely different sides of the world, right?
One is better, lad.
I don't know what you said just now, but yeah, don't worry, we got that covered too.
English monarchy comes all the way back in the early medieval periods. It all started with the beginning of the fusion of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, which was when the King Alfred the Great Wessex successfully defended against Viking invasions and laid the foundation for united England. His descendants, especially Edward and the Elder and
MVPs.
Ashton, expanded the king's dominance by conquering other Anglo-Saxon territories, culminating in Alfred Sexton becoming the first king of England in the year of 927.
Under the first king of England, Athelstan, after a Norman conquest, William the Conqueror established a very strongly centralized monarchy which shaped England's feudal system, like the hierarchy system within England. And throughout time, the power in which the monarch held was suppressed like heavily because of events such as the Magna Carta, which is the contract signed that states no man is above the law, and the Glorious Revolution, which established Parliament as the ruling power of England, making a shift from absolute monarchy to constitutional monarchy. Even despite all of its history, like there was a lot of more events that happened, England still remained as a monarchy system, but constitutional, where the king serves as the representative of the country, but the political power is held by the parliament or the prime minister.
Throughout the time, though, around 1987 is when the arrival of the first fleet occurred. So this is where Australian monarchy originates from. It became a British penal colony, which was under the rule of British Crown, and because of this, it's adopted the British law and political traditions. The English monarch rose to the symbolic head of state, while there was a new title called Governor General, which was known as the person that controls, that would be holding the political power. There'd be no reason for them to share prime minister that hold political powers with one another. And it is ineffective to have them work from one side, which is British, and to Australia, which is very far away.
Damn, after knowing this lot, it's wild to see the evolution of the Australian political ideologies, eh? Seeing how it works differently with different traditions of the parliament.
Yeah, a lot of factors play into that actually, because Australia's the geography in Australia, it's really different from United Kingdom, as we already said many times. 2 different continents and the other side of the world. The economic priorities, the governance system, they have different governments, and obviously they're gonna have different goals based on like everything surrounding them, circumstances, and the social structure. It's a very culturally diverse country compared to England. There's a lot of races that live in there, and the historical experiences. They have different paths since they're not the same country, and it's crazy to think that. It's crazy to think that just like because of one moment in their past, which was the British colonization, they basically like kind of applied the same political ideologies, just very different from one another.
That's crazy, lad. I didn't know King Charles was the fraud, man.
Not really a fraud. I mean, when you're the leader of how many countries, you're obviously doing really good.
Bloody hell, still though, he's not even adding anything onto the political system, eh?
Hey, he's a colonizer. What do you
But
expect?
colonizer.
He's British.
He's British,
Do you feel educated now about your country?
Yeah, I might tell this to my wife, my kids. Shit.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time though.
Do you learn anything
I
new?
appreciate it. Even though you kidnapped me, put me here, I really appreciate it though. Really learned a lot about my country.
Hope you guys learned something today.
Yeah, lad. I see you, Unc.